by the way. Hey,
Good to see you. Good to see you. It's been so long.
I know, it's been 24 hours.
24 hours.
We saw each other at the airport yesterday.
Yeah, no, I was going for my flight, and I've known Paula for years, so I saw her crouching down, like scurrying through her stuff, so I went over and I ambush selfied Paula, and this is what it looks like when you ambush selfie Paula right there.
Okay, but from my perspective, I am such a hot mess when I travel. And I'm on the ground, literally, suitcase open, taking things from my backpack, and all of a sudden this random guy kneels down beside me, and I haven't had coffee yet, and reaches around and takes a selfie. I didn't even know who it was until I looked up and I'm like, of course it's Ben.
You can't tell by your face.
Of course it's Ben.
You can't tell by your face. You look very aware in that picture right there.
What is that expression? I'm like, what? Who? What?
It's like, who is that? I'm just happy it was you and not some random person that I was like, Paul, you're not Paul. No, goodbye. You and my wife go way back.
Yes, I know, and we go way back, to our time in Chicago. Ginger and I are both from Michigan, but we worked at WMAQ, the NBC affiliate in Chicago for years. It's so funny, Ben, because do you think Ginger and I look alike at all?
I think you guys definitely favor each other.
Y'all favor a bit.
Because I covered sports for 10 years, and I covered sports in Chicago, and Ginger's obviously a meteorologist, but people would come up on the street to me and ask me what the weather is going to be like. I'm like, how the heck? Like, I can barely differentiate east from west. I always have to do never eat shredded wheat to remember east from west. And they would ask her, what's the outcome of the Cubs game, the Chicago Cubs?
Just go with it.
I know.
You just mess with them.
But it got so bad, one of our colleagues walked up to me, one of our colleagues that we worked with at NBC, and she started asking me about a weather website. And I was like, you think I'm Ginger. I work with you, and you legitimately think that I'm Ginger.
People think I'm Kellie all the time.
Yeah, I couldn't tell why.
People always are.
Yeah, I always get
it's uncanny.
When are you going to come up with new music? I'm like, oh, I'm in the studio every day. Relax, okay?
We actually have an idol in common, right?
Yes, Dolly Parton.
Yay!
Yes.
Are you a big Dolly fan?
Who doesn't love Dolly?
I do love Dolly. I just hope that you don't have an embarrassing story. I was anchoring GMA early last year with Michael Strahan and George Stephanopoulos, and she was going to be on the show. She was talking about her literary and her book initiatives. And, you know, it was right before the show, have to use the little girls' room, so walk into the restroom, and I could tell somebody was in the restroom, but I thought they were in the middle stall because that door was shut, and the far stall was kind of propped open, so I walk in, I open the stall door, it hits her on the shoulder, and I was like, oh my gosh. I did not know she was in there. I said, oh my gosh, it's Dolly Parton. Oh my gosh, I just walked in at Dolly Parton, and I backed up, and my back hit the wall, and I was like, I am so mortified. She was so gracious.
Oh, yeah.
She's great.
She's great, and she walked up to me, and she's like, don't worry about it. Those that tinkle together stay together. So it's like, thank you, Dolly, because that's like the most humiliating moment of my career.
What have been some of your favorite moments?
Oh, gosh, listen, you know, I covered sports for 10 years, so I've loved covering every championship game, you know, Super Bowls and World Series.
All that excitement right down in the middle of it all.
Oh, it's so exciting. But I've got to say, you know, I covered the inauguration of Donald Trump, which was interesting. But last year, covering the royal wedding, I did not expect to get so caught up in it. And I still remember I was covering it for ABC.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what is that? Yeah, see, like something's growing out of my head there. But that's right in front of Windsor Castle where they got married. But that morning, do you remember Meghan Markle stayed the night at Cliveden House, so a couple of miles away from Windsor where she was going to get married.
Right.
And she's in her Rolls Royce with her mom. I'm reporting there that morning for our special coverage. And she's making her way down the long driveway. And I waved to her, and she waves back. And that was the first time she had waved. So I got the first wave. I got the first wave. And I did not expect to be so moved by that. But it was such a moment of, it was such a historical moment.
Absolutely.
For, you know, this American princess, this divorcee, the story of redemption, and seeing the two countries come together in such a global event. Didn't expect to be so caught up in it, but it was really quite extraordinary. And I got a cool fascinator out of it.
You got a couple of fascinators.
I
You got like two in
beautiful
there.
out of it.
And you do stories all the time that you get emotionally, I mean, that the viewer gets emotionally caught up on. I reposted one of your pieces recently about a gentleman who has ALS.
Yeah.
And it is one of the, I never repost pieces. I don't do any of that stuff. And I was like, I have to send this to as many people. It was a piece that signified every emotion. There was laughter, there was tears, there was pain, there was everything. How do you separate yourself from that kind of a subject matter? How do you not just stop and cry when you're talking to this guy?
I did cry during that interview, and that's the first time that I've ever done that. And usually, you know, as you want to stay professional, you kind of have to compartmentalize yourself. But at the same time, I don't want to be so desensitized and callous to humanity that it doesn't impact me. But this particular story is this, you know, preeminent ALS researcher, and then he develops ALS, and he has 2 kids that he'll never be able to hold again. And like he literally had none of the markers, and he's weeping during the interview. I started crying. We had to stop rolling. So yes, I want to be professional, but I also want to be a human.
Right.
But that's the only interview that I've ever shed tears and we had to stop rolling.
Look
We had
up
to
this
compose.
piece if you can, by the way.
Well,
It's so inspiring, and it really puts things into perspective.
It really does.
It's brilliant.
Thank you
And
for that, though.
it's okay to cry.
Yeah, it
Makes
is.
you real.
Right.
You know, I think when you bottle things up, that's when, you know.
Totally. And you can attest to this as
wrong.
a parent. Things just, once you become a parent, things just hit you a little
Oh, yeah.
differently.
Right.
You
I
see
mean-
things through a different lens.
I mean, you're a mother. How do you juggle being a mom and then your work?
Yeah.
Because both keep you
I
extremely
usually ignore
busy.
my children. No, I'm kidding. No.
You have three kids,
I have 3
right?
kids, yes. I have a daughter who's 11, and I have 2 boys, they're 9, and my youngest just turned 5.
Wow.
It's hard, you know, but I know Sheryl Sandberg had the book Lean In. I just say hang on.
Yeah.
Just hang
Yeah.
on and give yourself a lot of grace. Extend as much grace to yourself as you do to others.
Definitely.
And I tell my kids all the time, it's not about perfection. Just do your best and say you're sorry. You know, those are some of the biggest lessons.
Talk about your podcast.
I'm excited about it. I know you all have cell phones that have probably been commandeered, but make sure you subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. It's called Journeys of Faith. I'm a believer. You know, I'm a Christian, and I know that as a journalist, it's faith, regardless if you're Jewish or you're Muslim, if you're Hindu or you're Christian. It's just not something that we allow people to talk about. We want to talk about your book or your new song or that salacious quote or the game-winning catch, but we don't give people an opportunity to talk about their core beliefs and what really drives them, what gets them out of bed in the morning, their chapters of triumph and tragedy, and how faith guides them. So this was just, it's a passion project of mine. I'm so grateful that ABC's letting me do it. We wrapped season 1. We've got season 2 coming up. We'll launch the beginning of March, and we got some exciting guests. So I'm just, you know, I'm really grateful. I feel responsible because there's not a mainstream media outlet that's allowing people to talk about faith. And hopefully it's something that can unite us instead of divide us, and even sitting down with people of different faiths and respecting those faiths. I've grown.
Educating each other.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's just important in this moment of dissent just to come to the table and listen.
What would people be surprised to know about you?
I'm really boring. I
We
mean,
could- yeah,
honestly.
we can tell. We really
No,
can tell.
I mean, people think that TV is this glamorous life, and like, I drive a minivan. Well, I did until I wrecked it. Drive a minivan. You know, for my birthday, I wanted my husband to take. He's like, "Where do you want to go?" I said, "Buffalo Wild Wings." So
That's
I
cool.
just think I'm really just super normal, and you know, I
love
my
minivans.
kids.
I want a minivan so bad.
Ginger won't let you. You know what,
Well, let me
Ginger? I
They've
got in the middle of
been
this
on the
argument.
minivan kick for about, what, 2 years
It
now?
was a while, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted one for. It's like having a hotel with wheels.
It's incredible.
Fantastic.
See, I usually will take Ginger's side, but on this, I'm
you.
totally with you. It's a nice swagger wagon. I say
is.
it's a moment. You have to hand in your cool card for a little bit,
Right.
but you can get it back.
You get a cool
Yeah.
minivan.
Yeah.
You get a cool minivan.
Yeah.
Well, I wrecked mine, but
Yeah.
then my husband wouldn't let me get another one.
How do you wreck a minivan? It's
Well-
indestructible.
Well, ask the woman that ran the red light.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you wreck a minivan.
It
was
so,
super- oh.
Thank you,
So,
Paula. Thank
thank
you so much.
you.
Thank you. You can check out Journeys of Faith with Paula Faris for free wherever you download your podcast.